Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Saturday. As Bitcoin is back above 20,000 US dollars, we have some very important dates coming up. So what's next? What's important to know? I'm gonna keep you guys updated, Snipers. September 15th is the most important date. That's the Ethereum merge. But check this out. This was posted before Bitcoin broke out above 20,000 US dollars. And this is exactly what's happening to Bitcoin as institutions have been able to enter into their positions. This is how institutions enter into positions. And you can see Bitcoin is currently in the expansion phase. And that's exactly why we took a long position with low risk at 19,400 for those in the #1 cryptocurrency Discord group in the world. The link is in the description below. We entered into Bitcoin at 19,400, and this was 2 days ago. That's already hit its first profit target at 20,000. And so as we start to see these important dates coming up, let's dissect them even more. September 12th, we have contracts rolling over. That's when futures contracts are expiring. September 13th, CPI data comes out. We've seen a reaction in the markets after CPI data. And then the day after that, September 14th, the PPI numbers. And then the day of the Ethereum merge, we also have retail sales coming out. And then what's most important in this is the September 21st FOMC decision/press conference. Even Elon Musk tweeted that if the Feds decide to increase interest rates again, deflation is most likely a very big risk of that. And they say that as a risk because that means that companies like Tesla would have to lower their prices. That's obviously not good for their earnings. And so are the Feds going to continue to interest rate hike into this next quarter as they have been over the last few quarters? Most likely, based on what Jerome Powell was saying during the Jackson Hole talk. And that's why we saw markets dump actually. And so Bitcoin is back above 20,000 US dollars. Let's talk about the chart, Snipers. What's important? Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support these quick weekend updates. So none of this is a surprise. Let's just dissect this a little bit. By the way, a full moon tonight. Those are always fun. We can expect maybe some volatility because of a full moon. You know, that emotional cycle typically affects the markets. But we have a new weekly candle that we're going to see close here for Bitcoin. It's going to be important to dissect the candle symmetry on this weekly candle. But so far on the daily chart, what you'll notice here is if we were to just remove these moon phases so you can have a more clear depiction of what's happening, Bitcoin is still below major resistance at 22,000 US dollars. That's the immediate short-term resistance level. As a matter of fact, if we can get above 22,000 US dollars, why is that significant for Bitcoin? Well, it puts us in a position to test 23,795, but more importantly, 24,300, where Bitcoin was rejected multiple times already. And if we can get there, what's very interesting is the 20-week moving average, right? This is everyone's bull market, either a resistance or bull market support if we're above it. Right now, the bull market resistance is about to show confluence with the $24,300 level. As a matter of fact, if we were to just get price to the highs that we've already seen here on the week of the 15th of August, we would already be at the 20-week moving average, because now that Bitcoin has stayed inside of this range for long enough, the 20-week moving average has significantly dropped down from around that $29,000 level from where it was around August to now into September. That 20-week moving average free falling is right around that $24,300 level. That is a major resistance. And would it be a surprise for Bitcoin to get above that 20-week moving average when the S&P 500 is already above its 20-week moving average, closing its last weekly candle above its 20-week moving average? Well, the only reason Bitcoin isn't doing that is because it's not performing as strong as the S&P 500 based on the Bitcoin against SPY chart, which we'll continue to monitor. But the weekly candle close is going to be significant for tomorrow's video, Snipers. So the point is here, Bitcoin right now, we know the major support. It's the 2018 previous all-time high. Every monthly candle body has closed above the 2018 previous all-time high at 19,800. That's the most important support level. And then the most important resistance is going to be that $22,000 level. Once we break above that, 24,300 is where the 20-week moving average is showing confluence with the major volume resistance. We can get above that, we are back in a bull market. But until then, we have to continue to monitor what potential downside scenarios are on the table. Now, how is the volume on this institutional accumulation move that recently occurred? Let's pull up Coinbase. You can see volume wasn't too significant. It's not the most amount of volume that we've seen inside of this consolidation. We saw this amount of buy volume actually when Bitcoin first tested 20,000 US dollars on the daily chart. But what's more important is the 6-hour institutional volume time frame. And so what you'll notice on the 6-hour chart is we've seen a lot more buy volume in the past here at these lower levels. And so what we saw for this spike was pretty much just allowing Bitcoin to continue to float inside of this consolidation range. We can even argue that we have a pretty solid floor here right around that CME gap at 18,800. It's funny because if you pull up this Bitcoin CME chart, it's very clear why Bitcoin is bouncing at these levels. If you look at Bitcoin CME chart, snipers, I mean, look at that. We didn't fill the gap the first time we tested here, and then we came down to fill the CME gap completely, and then we saw a bullish engulfing candle. And so very clear that the reason we saw Bitcoin come down to 18,000 was to fill that CME gap, and it makes sense. Ethereum heading into the merge, what's important for Ethereum right now? Well, we need to invalidate this bearish pattern here that Ethereum is in. Head and shoulder pattern, that's not good. We want to get above 1760 as we've been talking about for Ethereum to invalidate this bearish pattern. Major supports 1440, the 2018 previous all-time high. Now, Ethereum definitely went into Bitcoin, which caused Bitcoin to see this recent pump of 10% in one day. You can see we saw a sell-off in the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, and then Bitcoin dominance saw a bullish engulfing candle, wiping out 2 weeks of losses for Bitcoin dominance, indicating that maybe there's a little bit of a risk-off appetite in the cryptocurrency market. But overall, with the Bitcoin dominance chart forming new lows, yes, the overall markets in general, when we look at equities, we look at S&P 500, we look at the NASDAQ, we look at the Dow Jones Industrial, the overall markets are risk-off right now. But within the cryptocurrency market, we're still apt to risk. We're still open to take risk, and you can clearly see that with what's happening to the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. And Ethereum in general is an institutional play for risk in the cryptocurrency market, unlike Bitcoin, right? The storage of value. So there's still some risk going on there, and so that's very interesting to see, snipers. And then we won't cover any other revolving parts because it is the weekend. We'll continue to monitor the Bitcoin against SPY chart, but the fact of the matter is we're going to continue to monitor the DXY as well coming into this new week. We have a lot of important dates coming up, so we can expect a lot of volatility. And I would say that when it comes to the FOMC decision on September 25th for them to raise interest rates, that's probably going to be the most significant change in the markets for this month. And then, of course, CPI data is coming out, retail sales data is coming out, all of that stuff is coming out alongside with the Ethereum merge. And then Cardano later in the month is also going to have the Vassal hard fork. So I would say September is a month to look forward to a lot of great things fundamentally, but we know in the past, September has actually been one of the worst months for equity markets when it comes to performance, and even for the cryptocurrency market. And so we kind of have a yin and a yang month happening right now, where you've got all of these fundamentals that are strong, and then you have all of these technicals that indicate that if history were to repeat itself, September wouldn't be a good month. But so far, all of those historical standards have proven to not be true this year. And so maybe September is actually a good month this time. You know, if everything else was invalidated, maybe that could also be invalidated, right? There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So anyway, snipers, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content. I'm going to get ready for dinner, and I will see you guys next time, snipers.